What's up guys, it's your boy The Hunter Fisher. Welcome back to the Epi Banger video, and today guys and girls we are testing a prototype salt finesse rod from Cashion. Let's get right into it. And of course the most important part about this rod, made in the USA. Oh, that's better. First fish on the Cashion Salt Finesse. Alright guys and girls, we are currently out at my saltwater spot. I like to do some saltwater fishing out here. I love to use Ned rigs, and you guys know that. I've used Ned rigs and had fantastic performances out here. But right now the water is flowing and the fishing might be hot. So we're out here. I'm actually testing a prototype rod. If you guys know, this is the Cashion Salty Ned Rig rod. This is a rod that's meant for fishing salt finesse techniques like the Ned Rig. Or say if you're fishing small twitch baits, stuff like that, this is going to be a great rod for you. But this rod is specifically going to be excelling in the area of just catching finesse fish and having fun in salt water. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna test and run this rod through the paces, see how it performs, and I'll update you guys as we go along, and I'll tell you guys what I really think of this rod, and I'll give you guys as much information on it, but it's not out yet. So if you go to the link and try to buy it right now, you won't be able to, not yet at least. So I'll let you guys know how it is, and let's go fishing. All right, guys and girls, let's get started. Let's do some, let's test out the salty Ned Rig and see how it performs today. But I have just the Ned Rig here today. I've been having to scan, scrounge up jig heads because I forgot that I didn't have any Ned heads to test this with today. And well, we're gonna have to make it work because I only got 2 of these today. Hopefully we don't snag too much. I'm gonna probably snag first cast now that I've said that though. Father-in-law's already started fishing. He says he's gotten bites, so we're gonna have to find out and see. Let's see how this rod casts. Is my first cast with the Cashion Salt Finesse. Let's set that drag up a little bit. So far, first impressions of the rod, the carbon feels amazing. I love the epoxy finish here. One thing that I do with my carbon fiber grips and stuff like that is I like to finish the epoxy like they do. I like to have it ramp up almost because it's more comfortable when you hold the rod, at least in this part. So whenever you're grabbing it, it's not as big of a deal. I like how it says Salty Ned Rig right here. I love the decals because you can't really see the lines of the decals. So far, that's actually really nice. And of course, the most important part about this rod, made in the USA. That's not many rods are like that. Like this gimbal, if you have rod holders in your boat, it's perfect for that. But besides that stuff, let's get to fishing. Guys, first catch on the Cashion Salt Finesse is a very not happy blue crab. He's grabbing on the ground. Let go of the ground, dingus. Yeah, first catch on the Cashion Salt Finesse. I thought it was a giant fish when I hooked into him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a good one. But nope, it's just a crab. I hooked him like in the middle of the flat too. Oh, I took a piece of him.
Yeah. There you go. Throw him back
it's crab scent. I just hate crabs. They look too much like spiders to me.
Look to the right.
Yeah, he's. Oh, I just cast it way too far left. My bad. I'm like in the middle of the flow right now. I'm getting tore up like crazy. I'm just gonna let this sit in the flow and just let my reel just keep going. See how far it ends up out. Oh, well, about that far, huh?
Makes you wonder, see where the water is shimmering out there?
Yeah.
Is that low water or is that deeper water?
Oh!
Oh, there you go.
That's better. There we go, guys. Little fish on the Cashion Salt Finesse. And it does the damn flip perfectly. Awesome. There we go, guys. Well, first fish on the Cashion Salt Finesse is a tiny trout. Sweet, thanks for biting, buddy. Thing is with Z-Man is it lasts forever, relatively. I literally just let my thing sit in the flow as long as possible. Oh, I just got snagged.
You got some? Oh, you snagged?
Nope, fished. Oh, I lost it. That was a ladyfish. I love this little rig. I love Ned rigs. They're so much fun. I thought they were only a winter bait, and then I started fishing them in the summer here. They catch fish any time of year. Put them in the right spot, they're gonna catch fish. This is how it was when I first started fishing here. It's kind of slow like this.
I just lost my tail. hard, but it's not hard enough to actually grab the hook.
There we go, that's bigger. Trout. Trout. I think it's jumping. There we go, guys. Stop shaking. All right, guys. Just wanted to update y'all, tell you what I'm liking so far about this rod and reel. Just after catching a fish on it, just give you my ideas. What I really like about it is the short handle. This is a little bit shorter handle than I'm usually used to with BFS rods. I think personally, this is probably about 8.5 inches, if I had to guess. It feels nice, actually. I mean, this is a kind of a tip heavier rod. It balances like right about here. And that's honestly kind of preferable, especially for that long distance casting I'm doing. So if you're casting like 1/8 ounce paddle tails, 1/10 ounce Ned rigs and stuff like that, this is going to be a really ideal rod, because if you notice it's a fast action, but it loads up very well. And that part I feel like is very important, especially if you're talking about the lighter weights for casting those lighter weights. So it's gonna be super ideal if you're wanting to have a lot of fun in salt water and cast light baits. That's what I'm doing, really, is just focusing on casting 1/8 ounce, which technically speaking right now, guys, I'm using a 1/16 ounce jig head with the 3-inch B vibe from Euro Tackle in the Empire Shad color. So it's exclusive to Bait Finesse Empire if you guys are interested in it, but this rod will be available soon. I'm liking a lot about it. It looks like they did take a lot of nice steps in it to make sure it was the best possible. I mean, I'm liking it so far. The handle feels nice. It's very light rod. I need to actually weigh it and see what it weighs. I'll probably throw that up on the screen right here. And it's a light rod. It's very light rod, and I'm liking it so far. The guides are just absolutely phenomenal for terms of like, just from a rod builder's perspective, these guides are great. I love these guides, and I love the action of the rod, just because I feel like when I'm using this for like actual boat fishing out on the flats and stuff, this is gonna be a really fun rod, especially when we get on the fish. It's gonna be a lot of fun to catch fish on this rod. It's like, this is ideally what I wanted to build myself for saltwater, but Cashion went and did it for me. Loving this rod so far. It feels great. The quality's awesome. I love these carbon grips. I've actually used them before myself. It's interesting. I actually want to see how this feature does in a rod holder, but I don't have any with me right now. So, but I definitely will soon, because it does hold better. I know that for sure. I've seen it on saltwater rods before. So hopefully we see more fish today. It's been a slow day, relatively speaking, for out here. Even though there's a lot of flow, it's just the fish, there's a lot of smaller fish, and they're not biting exactly what I'm throwing right now. They had a crab bite the Ned rig, but not a whole lot besides that. There we go, trout. There's another trout. There we go, guys. The hook sets on this rod are just fantastic. So far, just loving the hook sets on this rod. I caught a trout. Just letting it sit in the flow and casting. Yeah. Like literally, I'm just casting straight out into the flow and just letting it sit as long as I can. And that was on a little paddle tail. Not doing bad though. Could be better today, but I'm not picky. This is gonna be a very finessey combo. Tiny shrimp with shrimp scent and a rattle. But the rattle is so slight in this bait, you can just barely hear it. I'm gonna try to show it to you. If I can get it to rattle. Just.
Oh yeah, I can hear that.
But it's louder in the water. It sounds more like a shrimp in the water.
Every time you yank on it.
Yep. Oh geez. Something grabbed the heck out of me up here. Oh, you seen that? So I'm trying to cast out there a little bit further. I got hit. I'm getting hit all the way out there. Oh my Lord. It was like whenever I was using this in Cedar Key and I was just freaking every cast. Yeah. It's one of my favorite like lure combos for saltwater, just because it works so good, at least near here. Guys, we are rocking my favorite color of salty Ned so far. I'm kind of split between this color, Laguna Shrimp and Beer Run right now, but I love the new penny color because it looks so shrimpy. But right now I've got Procure into this, and I've also got little rattlesnaker rattles in here to make it sound more like a shrimp whenever it hops off the bottom. My live bait rod's going nuts over there too, but this rod so far, it's so sensitive. I'm feeling like every little nip and bite that I'm getting from these tiny bait fish that are eating the Procure off the bait. So it's like they're liking this bait. It's just the big fish really aren't here as much, we're seeing right now at least. But that's why I've got live bait out. Caught a couple pinfish on a float combo and waiting for it to get bit. Oh, there we go. Ladyfish. Good Lord. Oh, it broke me off. That little hecker. Oh, that sucks. I did not want to lose that either. Dang it. All right, guys, just wanted to update you on camera after fishing with this for the day so far. I want to say one thing is like one most important thing. I've been doing this, really focusing on this aspect of the rods so far that I've been doing on my channel, is how fun is the rod to fish with. And to be honest, this rod is a ton of fun. I just hooked up with a ladyfish on it, and to be honest with you, it was a lot of fun to catch because it loaded up very well and it bent a lot to the dig of the ladyfish. Wow, it's like the perfect medium between ultralight BFS and that like just finesse aspect. It's got enough bend in it to probably cast a 16th pretty well. So if you guys are looking to cast a little bit lighter weights with that and stuff like that, I do think that this rod more appropriately would probably be rated for 2.5 to, I would say, 12 to 13, even maybe 14, 15 grams. So I've really loved it for that so far, but mainly the bend of it is just the most fun part of the rod because it just bends so much to digging fish. I haven't caught a redfish on it. That's kind of the goal I had today, was catch a redfish on it, but I can't choose what fish bites my hook. So I've just been kind of running it, calling it by ear or whatever I'm gonna call it. So far, I love the rod. It casts great. It loads up great. And I've never had any baits on it where I'm like, I can't really cast it yet. I don't know. I haven't really tested super light weights. I've been throwing 1 10th-ounce Ned rigs, which is what it's kind of built for, Ned rigs of any weight. And I've also been casting a lot of the paddle tails and stuff like that, which is really what I would use this rod predominantly for most of the time. Maybe I would throw like the 3/16 mirror lures and stuff like that, but I don't have any of those with me right now. I need to get some because they seem like they're pretty good. So, but other than that, if you guys are really liking the video so far, let me know down in the comment section below if you have any questions about the rod. I'm gonna fish with a little bit more today, but we're probably gonna give it a quits here, probably in 30 to 40 minutes, maybe even less than that, because it's getting hot and it's hot as heck out here. I already have a ton of videos to edit, so I'm not gonna rush to get this one out. This rod, I believe, comes out around in about a couple of weeks. I haven't really checked when the release date is. I'll probably throw it in the description here. I'll let you guys know when this rod comes out, and you guys can check it out on, I believe, it should be available on Bait Finesse Empire when it originally first comes out. So pay attention to there and you'll definitely know when it comes out then. Guys, I'm fishing with a little 16th-ounce Ned rig head from Mule right now. Standing perfectly up, you know, usually as Mule do. But it's cast. I mean, this rod's rated for an 1/8-ounce jig head. This is probably about a 3-gram jig head in plastic total. So I mean, it's pretty capable, even in the lower weight ranges. It's really capable. So I like that so far. So it feels capable of all the weight ranges it claims it is, like total wise. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, nope, never mind. Haven't seen that rod been moving as much anymore. Wonder if the pinfish finally died. Oh, that one did. You missed that. I yanked him completely out of the water. What's interesting about this rod company is they serialize all their rods. So whenever they have a rod go bad, they can probably go and check that whole batch and say like, hey, we had a rod from your batch go bad. Here's, oh, I just got chased by a big old trout. Dang it. But it's probably a good way to keep track of rods that need warranties and stuff. You know, maybe I'll include that in the video. Guys, if you notice, there's a serial number on this rod. Now, my rod's a prototype, technically speaking, but it's essentially part of the same batches that it will do. But I don't remember how to read it, but they tell you online. But I'm assuming this is a date because it says 05/16/23, May 16th, 23. But then there's another one, and it looks like June 28th, 23A. So maybe this is when, maybe 16th was when the rod was started to be made, and this is when it was finished or something. I don't know. I'll probably tell you guys in the video if I do find stuff online. As I was telling you guys before, I was so rudely interrupted by my GoPro dying. But yeah, I think this has something to do with dates, maybe like start finish date, like when it was started and what it was finished on or whatever. Then there's a letter, maybe that was the batch it was finished that day or something. I'm not sure, but I know mine was technically a prototype, so it came out before your production line rods that they're gonna be selling and stuff. So, but I mean, overall, I really like the quality and the workmanship behind it more than anything. Because I mean, one of my favorite features about this rod is the unsanded carbon wrapping, because you don't see that too many with American rods because they think it's going to be damaging to the rod, and sometimes it is more delicate. But the sanding, the non-sanded blank, I think personally makes the rod overall more sensitive, and this is a very sensitive rod. It feels like the $300, $400 rods I've used before. It's as sensitive as that, and it's not even as light as those rods. So it's interesting to see the unsanded blank and seeing how it actually works in practice. All right, guys, that's it for the Cashion Salt Ned rig rod video. It's a first impressions video. So far, I really love the rod. It's probably going to be a rod I take every single time I go out saltwater fishing, because I like to do a lot of different styles of saltwater fishing whenever I go saltwater fishing. Sometimes it's super ultra light, sometimes it's not. And the Salt Finesse rod really does a lot of that in between. So I'm curious, one thing is, I don't know a whole lot about what's going on behind the scenes over at Cashion, but I do get to test this prototype because I feel like this is a very exciting rod for someone like me, because this is like right up my alley. And if you're someone who's from Texas, anywhere in the Gulf, this is a really great rod for fishing those styles lures. But I really am curious, if this is the Salty Ned rod, is there another one that's supposed to come out in the Salt Finesse series soon? That's a question I have for Cashion. And if Cashion's watching this, I know a couple of people over there, leave me some information down in the comment section below. I want to see if people can get excited about something else in the Salt Finesse series besides the spinning options and stuff like that. I'm really curious if you guys are gonna have stuff like, you know, a mirror lure rod, or a tiny mirror lure, or the mini mirror lure, or whatever it is, or the Rebel Raider rod, for example. Rods like that, I'm really curious if there's more to expect from the Salt Finesse series, because if there is, I'm excited. I'm really excited. The rod is extremely sensitive with that Cashion CR6R blank. It is fantastic, and I love it so far. And I know that it's gonna be a common staple in my loadout every time I go fishing, whether it's a paddle tail or a Ned rig or really anything. I feel like you can do anything with this rod, but it's really specifically great at throwing any size Ned rig because it's so sensitive and you can feel the bottom. But if you were to throw even 1/10 ounce, even though that's technically rated below what the rod says, it still feels like it casts it very well. So I'm really excited about this rod. If you guys are wanting to know where you can get it, it'll be available at Bait Finesse Empire when it finally does get released, and I can't wait to see what you guys catch on it. I'm hoping to see if I can target some big fish on this rod, some big redfish, some big flounder, big trout. I'm really waiting for the winter, because the winter's gonna be the best time of the year. But I think right now what I'm gonna have to do is link up with my dad, and we're gonna have to go see if we can go get it on some triple tail with this rod. I'm brave enough to try to see if I can get a fish like that on this rod. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys have any more questions about the Cashion Salt Finesse Salty Ned rig rod, really long name, but it's specifically the Salty Ned rod. If you have any more questions about it, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'll believe I can put all the information I can about this rod in the description, which I will have links to everything that you need to get set up, just like I did today with the Cashion Salt Finesse rod. That was really the big ticket for me today that I caught my fish on. Even with the other rod I was trying to fish with today for another video, I couldn't even quite catch as many fish as I did on the Cashion Salt Finesse. So I want to say shout out to Cashion for letting me try a prototype again. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe with bell notifications turned on. And as always, guys, remember, fish fear me.